Now, India is keeping a close watch on Bangladesh's situation. Director General of Border Security Force Daljit Singh Chaudhary on Wednesday reviewed the security and operational preparedness of the paramilitary force along the Bangladesh border in Agartala. Director General of Tripura Police and DG Intelligence also attended the review meeting. Tripura shares an 856 border with Bangladesh. 856-kilometer long border with Bangladesh. BSF DG applauded the tireless efforts of the state forces in safeguarding the border by preventing any kind of infiltration and trans-border crimes. Meanwhile, on the intervening night of 6th and 7th August, the BSF, in a joint operation with Tripura Police, apprehended 11 Bangladeshi nationals who had crossed over to the Indian side illegally. And DD India's Jessica Taneja now joins us on this story. Jessica, can we expect Moil in Bangladesh to settle after the installation of Mohammad Yunus-led interim government there? Also tell us, what are the possibilities of holding an early election?
That's correct. With the return of Mohammad Yunus now to Dhaka, a former university student who took the demand from the current university students of Dhaka University, and his return, of course, now leading the government with 15 council members, is going to be crucial as to how their plans will work in favor of bringing in peace and stability in the region that has witnessed widespread violence in the last 3 weeks. All of us have been closely watching on how the country would now sort of get back order and make sure that things are in place, especially when it comes to the widespread protests that perhaps did continue to an extent that claimed 300 lives so far. But with Mohammad Yunus's return, there can be some normalcy expected because if you'd recall, before he was flying out from Paris on his way to Dhaka to lead the interim government, he did mention that he wants the army to give control to a civilian government, and that was one of the primary demands of the student protesters as well. And that, if met effectively, now that he has arrived in Dhaka, as we're told, would sort of begin the process or the transition towards peace, and somehow ensuring that no more innocent lives are lost in the process of the kind of turmoil we've witnessed in the last few weeks, Tanvi.
Okay. Jessica, can you tell us more about the man, Mohammad Yunus, his credentials for the top post? I mean, it's not his political debut. He has tried in the past to enter the mainstream politics back in 2007.
That's correct. He did try to enter politics in 2007, and that is the time where now ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina had said quite famously that to beware of the newcomers, but it was that attempt that was thwarted, and then later on he continued his work as a managing director of the Grameen Bank. Now we're talking about Mohammad Yunus. The man is 84 years old. He was in Paris briefly for a medical condition, and also attending a few of the Olympic events, as reports would tell us. Apart from that, he has been the person who the students look at very favorably, not only because he's a student of the Dhaka University, but he's also the person who was in a Fulbright scholarship and went to the United States to get his PhD in economics. And once he returned to serve Bangladesh, he started the microfinancing scheme, or the Grameen Bank, in the 1980s, that gave him the kind of popularity, and also a Nobel Peace Prize back in the day in 2006 for his work in microfinancing. So, of course, looked at as a favorable candidate at this point, looking away, at least the people of Bangladesh are looking away from dynasty politics, not going with the Awami League and with the Bangladesh Nationalist Parties, the two parties that have been at the helm of affairs in Bangladesh's political landscape since its liberation in 1971. So it's crucial as to what Mohammad Yunus would bring in. And one last point, Tanvi, also the bigger task in front of Mohammad Yunus would be, when a civilian government sort of ensures some peace and stability in the next 3 months, of course, free and fair elections, which is what led to this current crisis that you witness in Bangladesh, at least partially to be blamed on that, and the rest, of course, on various factors like economy and joblessness. But at the same time, it will be important for the Muhammad Yunus-led government at this point to ensure that law and order prevails, no more lives are lost, and there is no brutal crackdown on the civilians. At least if there are protests and pits, they shouldn't be handled the way they did in the last 3 weeks.
All right, thank you, Jessica Taneja. And as you were speaking, we were showing live visuals to our audiences. Muhammad Yunus in